You know, twist it. Hold that. Oh, shit. No, the microphone's off.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Dusty from Agozar, and we are live here on another Under the Scope with Fernando and Timber. You know you're live when you're on mute and you forget your hosts are not on mute, and you hear the oh shit in the background. But anyway, that's a dead giveaway. We're gonna get right into it because if you're not on time, you're either Latino or Indian, and we have two. We have, or Irish. What is Irish time anyway? Let's invite our guests and let them say a quick hi. I want to welcome Fernando and Timber, both respected gentlemen and DJs. What's up, guys?
What's up, everybody? What's up? What's up from Miami, Florida? What's up?
Hello, everyone. I think Irish time is somewhere in between Indian and Latino time. It's right in the middle.
Is it? There you go. That's something I'm learning everything. Every time I talk to you, I find out about something, Timber, but I don't believe you. I'll do research on that. Nice to have you guys on Under the Scope, and thanks for accepting the offer. I think people are scared to talk to me these days because it's like as long as it goes over 5 minutes, we start getting into a D&M, and I'm like, hey, have you heard of Under the Scope? And that's kind of how it went. Well, it actually went the other way around. I met these guys. So I've known Timber for for quite a long time. What is it? 8 years, 10 years, give or take.
Something like that.
Right. And then Timber tipped me off on Fernando like maybe a month ago. It felt like longer actually because we've had long and deep and meaningful chats. We had some bromance going on and everything, so it feels like longer. But thankfully for the connection, I realized that hey, this is something special. You guys have really cool things to contribute, to say, and that's why I thought, hey, let's get you under the scope and hear a little bit about you both. So thanks again for being here.
Well, thank you for having us.
Thanks for having me, my brother. Thank you.
It's a pleasure. We got a few people in the audience that are here as well. So Ricardo's here, the Agozar team are here, Coco's here. I always say StreamYard's here, and I'm going to keep on saying because it's just funny. Just say Stream. Hey, Dola is here as well. What's up, Dola? And everyone else in the chat. I'm actually going to keep the chat open this time. I had the bad habit of not turning my private on. But listen, guys, let's get right into the questions. I know we've got some music to perhaps play. Let's see how we go for time. I'm not in any rush, and I'm sure the audience are dying to hear a little bit about both of you. So I don't know who wants to go first. We could draw straws.
Who's taller?
Who's taller?
No. I who's taller? Yeah.
Did you see that I look like a 5-year-old next to him in that picture that you put?
Yeah, I'm not convinced. I'm not
like your little brother.
But no, listen, for the rest of the audience that's joined in, I mean, let's. I'm hearing like a little bit of echo on my end.
Let me try.
Can we plug some headphones in?
Sure.
Dankeschön. And that's awesome. I was going to say something, but I'm not going to say that yet. I'll say it later on in the show. Anyway, let's be professional, guys, and get right into the questions. So before we get into the questions, I would like to ask you both to just tell the audience who the bleep you guys are. A little bit of a background. So let's start with Timber, because Fernando loves to talk. Go for it, Timber.
Okay, so I'm Timber. Grew up in Ireland. Lived in England for 7 years, Spain for 8 years. I started b-boying maybe 20 years ago. And that really got me connected with music and dance. And by looking through the history of b-boying and looking for the roots, I came across Latin funk, Latin soul, Latin jazz, as well as soul, funk, reggae, house, everything. And I just started putting the pieces of the puzzle together, and before you knew it, I came across salsa, and I was like, "What's this?" And at first, I didn't really understand it, and then the more I got into it, I was like, "Wow, this is some whole nother level of goodness." Um,
But b-boying, bro. So just so we have some audience members who were asking. I dropped cats there with Ephraim last week, and they were unsure. So could we just break? This is like breakdance music, right? For the
yeah, yeah.
audience that don't know,
Well, breakdancing is what
breakdancing.
b-boying or breaking or spinning around on your head.
Yeah.
And yeah, I started really getting into the history of it and traveling a lot, and
Don't touch this.
a lot of people, they just know me through the b-boy community, and they don't know that this is whole other salsa side to me. And a lot of people only know me from salsa and not through b-boying. And a lot of people kind of struggle with this dual identity of, is he a salsa guy, is he a b-boy? And some people can't really understand that you can do both.
Yeah. So what are you? Are you? What do you consider yourself? I mean, like we're getting into a question already now. Before I give Fernando the mic, but just quickly, like, would you consider yourself a
I'm
salsa?
I'm just
Salsa.
someone who loves music,
Yeah.
and I don't care what form it comes in. And like, I don't just buy salsa records. I buy soul, funk, jazz, some hip hop, house, and to me, it all comes from the same tree. So they're all different roots, and they all share something in common, which is that, I don't know. I used to think it was a hip hop thing, but
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's large enough to encompass everything.
Fair enough, man. But listen, thanks for sharing and thank you for your intro, Timbo, and kind of who you are and how you got here. Look at this guy; he's already pulling out records. Surgery.
Oh, Fernando's got his b-boy records out.
Oh, Fernando, that's a good segue into kind of telling the world a little bit about you, bro. Could you?
Before you go on, I actually have the video of Fernando popping that we're gonna play. No, I'm joking.
I actually have the video of you that you sent me, Timbo, and I was hoping we could show that as well. So
Negative.
what are we looking at now, Fernando? What kind of records are these? Because I'm
These are a
sure.
few, man, I got these records when I was like 16 years old. I've had these for many, many years. This was
Africa
Rebellion,
Bambaataa.
there you go. The Renegades of Funk and Wrecking Crew. This is the stuff that I started out with myself. Herbie Hancock, Rocket, and
Classic.
and that. The office is full of b-boy records.
Nice, man. What I mean, so do you have a similar story to Timber then? Are you coming from b-boy, bro, or what's your kind of like? Give us a timeline on kind of who you are, Fernando, in in less than an hour show.
All right. I'll give the Cliff Notes version.
I've got the hourglass just for you. No, I'm messing with you, bro. Take
Are
your
you sure
time.
that's not a whiskey glass, Dusty?
Yeah. Next question.
I'm waiting for my whiskey glass to come around. Hey, first of all, to Dusty, to the Agozar team, to Colin and everyone out there watching, thank you so much. Indeed, we do have amazing stories to tell. And every DJ that I've seen so far, man, I learn a little bit, I take a little bit, and I look forward to what the history and the future of salsa is going to take us. So, yeah, real quick, man, I was born in Cali, Colombia. I left Colombia at a very young age. Came into Miami, maybe not such a good neighborhood, but immediately submerged an exchange of culture from what you're used to listening to in Cali, which was salsa all day long. And then suddenly I'm in this neighborhood, this culture where it's all hip hop, and the breakdance music was on. So as a young person, you adapt, and sure enough, I ended up doing the same breakdancing moves that I've seen you do, but many years ago. So yeah, all the head spinning and the arm spin and the 1900s. You know what those are, right?
1990s.
What's the 1990s, man? Okay,
spin
right.
upside down like
Imagine.
this.
Yeah, right.
There you go. Can you imagine Colin doing a 1990? It'd be like a building going around in circles.
Well, we actually have a dare from Coco. Yeah, we want to see you spin on your head. That's a challenge for Timbo.
Do you know what? I'm going to answer that challenge via my Instagram.
I
Boom.
think we'll.
I'm,
I'm gonna guess that we'll probably see him doing river dancing before we see him spinning on his head.
there you go.
There you go.
No, so yeah, so you come over to Miami and suddenly you're submerged with this new culture. You're a young person. Your friends are no longer of Colombian descent, but now you're around Puerto Ricans and Cubans and Dominicans and African Americans. So you submerge yourself in this pot of multiple cultures, and you grab a little bit of each, and that's kind of where my musical, my connection with music is, right?
Mhm.
So throughout my high school years, yeah, I used to DJ all the hip hop songs from the beginning of I don't know, the Soul Sonic Force and Africa Bambaataa, all the way up to the house music area, all the time until house music songs, and mostly just about until the gangster rap came out. When
Yeah,
that song
right,
came
man.
out. Yeah. By the time we had some personal issues, my mom passed away, and you become a little bit more of an adult. And I'll never forget this day. A friend of mine took me to a salsa club somewhere in my early 20s. And inside the club, I start singing all these songs. It's just like a cassette popped up, and all these songs. I'm like, damn, I know that song, and I know this other song. So it was an immediate wake up call. This music is with you. It's always been with you. It's been dormant, but now it just suddenly popped up, and I've never turned back since. This also has been part of my life. I'm very grateful of everything that I learned with the culture of being a new immigrant in the United States and learning a new music style, and not only learning it, but man, I was the DJ that would cut and do all the stuff side to side on the turntables.
Yeah,
And
man.
it was a lot. It was a lot of fun.
So you grew up like, just so I can rewind and get a perspective, like 4 or 5 years old, you were like in a kind of a ghetto area, right? Like growing up with salsa around you in
Well,
Colombia, and then
in
fast forward
Colombia,
later, you kind of left it, and then now with your friend's tape, like playing a salsa, it took you back to that kind of memory, or is that kind of,
dude,
did I
I
understand that
left.
right?
I left as an early teenager in Colombia. So by the time I left, I'm pretty sure that I had heard multiple songs throughout my time, because wherever you go in Colombia, especially in Cali, you're
Hmm.
walking around, you hear salsa, you get in a cab, salsa, you're buying bread, salsa. You're like everywhere. But suddenly you snatch this person and you put them in another culture, and suddenly it's like, where's everybody at? So where I went to grow, when I stayed here in the northwest section of Miami, there's like no one in the streets, and I'm like, what's going on? Because we're so used to the hustle and bustle of Cali. And here
Sure,
at that
man.
time, it was nothing. So I kind of got submerged with that culture, like I said,
Yeah, yeah.
And it wasn't until the cassette, I guess the tape turned on, when I was like, wait a minute, this music has been in my brain the entire time.
Do you remember the track?
I do, and I remember the track. As a matter of fact, I have it here queued up and ready to play for everyone, because
Oh,
it was
great.
nothing. It was something like a shock. And I'm like, I know that tune. It's an instrumental tune. And we have heard the song, the salseros, the people that love La Rumba in Miami. And I'll tell you more a little bit about that afterwards and how my experience with that is. Everybody's experience is different.
Yeah.
But the very first time I walked in the club and I could just hear it was like a trance. It was an instrumental song by Nacho Sanabria, but it was just the trumpets and
Right.
everything and all that. And I'm there like, I was in awe.
Yeah, it's a zone track, right? I wanted to ask you guys like a couple of questions, and we're gonna invite the audience as well that's joined us. And thanks for sharing, both of you, a little bit of a background on kind of how you guys got into it. Awesome. By the way, I'm not sure if you guys have a glass, but cheers from Sweden, and cheers to all the
Alright.
listeners out there, keeping it real. Salud, bienvenido.
Slancha.
Yeah.
All right.
What you just say?
Slancha.
What's that?
It's Irish for cheers.
Oh, there you go. I was like, I thought it was like a sneeze. I thought you said bless you. Slideshare. Is that Gaelic? Is that Gaelic?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm learning things
Awesome,
on the
awesome.
fly. Thanks, man.
Dustin, I don't know if you can see it, but I sent you a video of me doing head spins via private messaging.
Yeah,
I don't know
I
if
got
you-
it.
Can
I
you
got
play
it.
it?
Yeah, we can definitely play that. I'm gonna hold it and get I'm gonna get a moment because I have a couple of questions where unless you want me to play it now. You want me to play
Just
it now?
do
I'll play
it.
it now.
Just
All
do
right.
it. Get
All
get
right.
rid of it.
Okay.
Get over
Let's
with.
let's watch Timber's head spins. Make sure I close all my.
Do I have to turn my phone the other way?
No, you're good. I think. Hold on. All right.
He got it.
I
He
didn't
got it.
catch it. I
Yeah.
didn't catch it. I didn't catch it. I'm in yeah, action mode, man. I didn't catch it. Okay, so here's Timber's head spins, by the way. Audience, are you ready for this? Here we go.
Walking down the street, smoggy eyed,
Wow.
looking at the sky.
Jesus, man. That's so when was this?
Down the street,
That was 2004. You can turn it off now.
Okay, it was going in loop, right?
Yeah.
Was that I was just thinking, wow, that's a lot of head spins, bro. You're addicted to spinning on your head, dude. That explains a
have
lot
to-
of our conversations.
Clean the footprints from the ceiling afterwards, I think.
Oh man, I love it. Listen,
That's awesome.
I'm glad we got rid of that. So for those of you in the audience, yeah, this guy is not just a pretty face or face after all.
It's not just the face.
Guys, I wanted to ask you, for the nerdy record collectors in the audience, and in general, kind of like, I miss this question a lot from everyone, and I'm trying to rotate the questions so they're not the same. But kind of, I'm curious to know, and I'm sure the audience are as well. Like, what artists, musicians, bands, do you love the most, and why?
Who's this for?
This is for either one. So I don't know whoever wants to take it. I'm
Okay,
just
Colin,
gonna.
go ahead. I'll go to you, Colin.
You want to go, Fernando?
Yeah, I guess I can go. To be honest with you, there's just so much music out there. And I think we go through certain points of our lives where we kind of like one band and then we move on to another type of music and whatnot. Honestly, I believe that throughout the entire time that I've been following salsa and the music, I think I'm extremely fond of Cuban music. The old style guaguancos, the old guarachas, style of like Sonora Matancera, and Gloria Matancera, and things to that nature. For me, I can at any moment pull out one of those records. As a matter of fact, it's yesterday we were listening to Caridad Cuervo here in the house, full volume, and just enjoying it as if we would be in a nightclub. So
Why would it be that sound? Do you think, Fernando, that you're kind of drawn to right now?
I think it's raw. I think when especially when you hear the bongos, when you hear that they go into this bongo solo, and then followed by like several trumpets. I think if you know about Sonora Matancera, there'll be like a breakdown, and then it'll be fa-da-da-da-da, fa-da-da-da-da, so that is like you look forward to it. And it's I don't know. I think for me that sound, that Cuban sound, and that's also what is heard a lot back home where I'm from.
Right.
That there Sonora Matancera over there, from what I remember, was everywhere. La
Right.
esquina del movimiento. That's the kind of music where what we heard always over there.
I mean, that's
I'm
been
more-
around the longest, right? So perhaps you have a connection from your childhood.
I believe so. And you know what? And then you move forward and you notice afterwards, as you learn more and you get older into the music, you're like, oh, wait a minute, that's an Arsenio Rodriguez song. Like, in my mid 20s, as you start to hear Larry Harlow, and afterwards you're like, hey, wait a minute, I heard that song before from somebody else.
Yeah.
And that's how we learn. That old Cuban, that just stays there in the back of your brain. But for me,
Very good.
if that's the answer, I would say, yeah, for me, the Cuban sounds will always
Yeah.
be there, man.
All right, man. Thanks for sharing. What about you, Timbo?
I think like Fernando, just there's not. I mean, I want to give a shout out to Los Hacheros for just being a really kick-ass band. They're absolutely lethal.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Eddie Palmieri, Hector Lavoe, Angel Canales, and I think the thing for me is like Peter Conde Rodriguez as well. is I know a lot of record guys that I think this more so applies to people who are newer to buying records and newer to the scene. Is they only go after trophy records.
Yeah.
But these trophy records, a lot of the times, they're just trying to emulate what Sonora Matancera, Arsenio Rodriguez, Cachao, Pacheco, or Hector Lavoe, or whoever
Right.
were doing. And they're almost in a way like cheap knockoffs
Yeah.
of these. So, it's like the rares are cool, but the classics are timeless.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
And
Yeah.
there's just a certain sound or feeling that I look for in music, and I find it in Gilberto Santa Rosa. I find it in Los Hacheros.
Mm-hmm.
I find it in Noro Morales. You find it everywhere. There's just like a feeling that
That's
it
awesome.
gives you.
It sounds like you guys have got this connection with Cuban music, the both of you. And I actually was going to make you write it down on a piece of paper and just throw it up as in like, pick one kind of country that worked for you. But anyway, it worked out being the same because I had a feeling you would actually say Colombian music or maybe even New York music, Fernando. And maybe you would have said Cuban music, Timber, as well. But it's so cool to see that you both have Cuban music in the forefront of what you would go for and what you love most. That's new for me to know. So thanks for sharing. I wanted
You'd be
to.
surprised. You'd be surprised that I have friends that are Cuban that don't know the music, and they'll tell me like, "Oh, all you listen to is that Colombian music," and I'm like, "It's Cuban music, G."
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I've had people ask me to
culture
play
thing,
something,
right? Yeah.
play
it's-
something
it's-
Cuban, and I'm playing Cachao, and it's like, well,
There you go. Right.
what happened?
Yeah, I think there's a
Nice.
distinction between people's ignorance and knowledge, and hopefully, like shows like this, and maybe even other shows that are out there with DJs playing music and whatnot. Hopefully, inspires them to get a bit more knowledge under kind of their own belt, right?
I have a really cool story about a Cuban friend of mine. So I used to DJ in a club in Barcelona called Marula Cafe, and the music policy whatever was what they call música negra. So everything that falls under music of black origin. But mainly they played soul and funk in there. But I would always play some salsa, some boogaloo, some house, just whatever. And I was DJing there one night, and this tall, skinny black guy comes up to me and he goes, "Oh yeah, ¿tú eres Timber?" And he's like, "Are you Timber?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's me." So he starts going on, "Tú no me conoces, like you don't know me, but I'm Cuban, and I left Cuba 5 years ago, and I moved to Belgium to study. And my favorite thing is to look for music online. And I came across your Mixcloud, and I started finding all these mixes of salsa music, like mixtapes of salsa music that you had made. And it blew my mind because it was music from Cuba that wasn't from Cuba, that I, as a Cuban, had never heard."
Mm-hmm.
And he was just like, "Whatever you need for the rest of your life, I got you."
Wow.
And me and my wife, we actually got to go to Cuba for a honeymoon. And thankfully, Esteban was there. I don't know if you're listening, but saludos, Esteban. And yeah, super nice, humble, artistic guy. And I just thought it was so nice that I was able to, as someone who's not from a country where salsa is something cultural,
right.
to be able to give back.
Yeah.
Like I have some b-boy friends who are they're legends in the game. There's a guy called Maurizio, he came out in the 90s, and he was insane. And he went to New York, and he always had the New York guys like up here, and they saw him break, and they were like, "Yo, we were here, you're here." And he always thought like, "You guys are always going to be ahead of me because I looked up to you and I tried to copy you, and you guys were my inspiration." Yeah. But then he was like, actually, now they think that, they have me like right up here.
Yeah.
Now they were ahead. Now we're together. Now let's move forward together. So
yeah, I think there's so many anecdotes to what you just said. You could probably agree with me, Fernando. Is like back to kind of like, you don't know what's like. This is a classic. Like people that have said to me at least, like, hey, I know music, I'm Latino, and they're distinct on what they know, and then it takes for maybe somebody else that really goes deep and nerdy like ourselves into it, that reveals things for them, and they can't kind of connect to it because they consider that to be maybe almost cheesy music. Sometimes it's hard to connect with, and so I get exactly what you're saying, but at the same time you get people that appreciate as well, that, oh my god, what, it's from my country, on the other hand, and really takes it on and wants to grow with it, putting their ego aside, right? And so I think that's important to touch on what you said. So thanks for sharing that.
Allow me to just inject something real quick on there, because I
Please
believe,
do.
like I mentioned, the issue with the culture, right? And where I'm from, it was a cultural norm to listen to salsa, and not just Sonora Matancera, but everything there, and that includes boleros. And unfortunately, and this is again, I guess it's a cultural, monetary issue with radio stations, and I don't want to even get into that. But wherever you go in Miami,
Yeah.
is reggaeton, and I'm not putting down that music. Everybody's music has their own tinge with their culture that they're following. But if you go to a cafeteria, reggaeton. You go somewhere to wash your car, reggaeton. Everywhere in Miami. So if you happen to catch one cafeteria here and there, and they may be playing salsa, you know that one way or another there's a Colombian or a Peruvian working there, because there's very few that I know of Cuban friends of mine that would actually throw in a Ponceña, Lebron,
Right.
Gran Combo type mixture into their place, and most of the time I'm like, I got this look. Then I plug into my music, and that's it. It has to be a cultural issue, because if you're not teaching the younger people of the generations that are coming up the music that we grew up with, and that stays the tape, right? The cassette.
Yeah.
If the cassette is not constantly being recorded, then you have this music is slowly dying. I'm extremely appreciative to the fact that we have, local programs, and we have DJs. We have local DJs. I'd like to say hello, by the way, to my friends, my Miami guys, Juanca and Lucas and Danny, and everybody that's been into the musical realm here in Miami. Those that kind of launched me into the records, which was, Pedro Revista, Hector, El Indio, and we got Victor Alvarez. If you have a record that says VLs on it, that's Victor Alvarez. He's
So-
a local.
This is the mark you talked about, right? You talked about some marks on
Yeah,
a record.
if you see a record with a VLs, you see that thing there? That's Victor Alvarez.
Okay, so
So-
everyone in the audience, what Timber just did now by just going behind there and just grabbing the record, he does this all the time. I've been on chats with him. I'm sure if you've been on a chat with Timber, he will just go and you'll be talking about a record and he'll just be eating something and then he'll just be like, oh, you mean this one? So I actually have a game lined up for these two cats later. We're gonna
I
find
beat your game already.
We're gonna
stumble.
We're gonna,
I'm gonna
we're gonna
stumble
find-
with the setup that I have here.
It's okay. We're gonna find the record, but it's okay. But listen, I have a next question up, and I want you guys to play some tunes too. How about we play some tunes? Look at this guy.
Speaking of boleros, this
That's
album,
nice.
Black Labels, is for me it's something else.
After
the-
Hours, the After Hours record. That's
Yeah.
a fantastic record, man. That's a
The-
fantastic record.
The first track on the side B, Maldito Celos.
Yeah.
There's like a minute and a half of it, and then they stop and they go, no good, and then they start the record again. And
You're right.
it's just the most beautiful thing I ever heard.
Oh, that's awesome.
But listen, would you like to play a track? I mean, we've got 28 minutes into it. Why don't we play a track and then get back into the questions? So we can take why did you start collecting records and music in general when we come back.
Sure.
We got to say a big shout out to everyone in the audience that's listening. Alexis Style, what's going on? Lati Sasarika, Osemen Edeko. I've been practicing your name, bro. I hope I got it right. 25th show into it. DG Wancho.
DJ Juancho,
DJ
the
Wancho.
hairdresser.
That's
Is he-
my ninja right there. He's my music crew and all that. When I'm doing here the Kobe parties, he's my part-time video director.
Oh, I see the guy.
I'm teaching him how to do a lineup.
What's up, Watcher? What's up, my boy?
El
Everybody, from
Gri-
Miami,
El-
what's up, guys?
El Gringo's in the house as well. What's up, Gringo? Florian, Julio Sabroso, what's going on? And so many more. So Louise is here as well. and Jane's here as well. And guys, keep the chat happening. If you want to know a question, if you want to know an answer from these two criminals of salsa, please write it in the chat and let's get your questions up and running. But for now, let's hear a track, right? Who would like to go first? Would you like to? I guess
You got
Fernando has one lined up. It's
Yeah,
like,
so I had that one tune that I had mentioned earlier today. I had it queued up ready. So let's go back. I don't know, sometime in the early '90s, right? Young 20, 21-year-old.
Mhm.
Recently, mother passed away. I had to put away the Marine Corps thing to the side and focus into taking care of my family. So one day, this young guy gets taken to a salsa club, and the following song completely changed his life. So, you guys ready?
Let me just get Discogs open.
So let's hear this. And I'm sure a lot of people have heard of this.
I bought all 10 copies before he told me the song. So if you guys want a copy, no. Just Thank you, Fernando.
Tell me if it's too loud, okay? Give me some sound up or down.
Agua.
Water.
Water.
For real, for real.
How do you say water in Gaelic?
I have no idea.
Oh. Oh.
All right, we're back on. All right, that was a little feedback there. Can you guys hear me?
Cool,
Yep.
bro. I thought that was your neighbors screaming at you. Turn on the salsa. Hey man, that was a killer. So that was the track that kind of.
I tell you what. Whew,
Sorry. Can you hear us,
imagine,
Fernando?
just a young person. Yeah, I can hear you guys. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, go for it. Continue, man.
Yeah, I can hear you guys. Yeah, man. So I was saying, imagine a young guy
What about now, bro?
who had been taken off for many years, and yeah, I can hear you guys. I don't know if
Okay,
you guys
cool.
can hear me.
Yeah, cool, man.
All right. So I walk into this club and I see all these people dancing, and there's a certain style of dance that they're doing. Everybody's waving side to side to this music, and I'm like, where's this been all my life? I know I've heard this song in the background of my mind. It's like remembering this song. So this was one of the very first songs that launched me into me being like I guess a quote unquote salsero.
Mhm.
You know, so that's my story. This and then the rest of it is history, guys. The rest of it is, you know.
Are you a
all these other
vinyl
records
junkie?
that
Are
came
you
out.
a like an all-round vinyl junkie or a salsa vinyl junkie? And are you seeing someone to help you with this addiction?
Dude, this, I've fought every record that I've gotten. Like I know that meaning that I'm very cautious when it comes to spending for records. And I know how much to spend on a record and all that. If you're gonna call
Don't
me
go
a
there now.
junkie,
Don't go there
yeah,
now.
but
That's
I'm
the next. That's
cautious.
the next question. Don't spoil the spending on records question, bro.
Let's
No,
do it.
wives can watch this, Dustin. Wives can watch this.
I heard your wife is in on this with you. You're both kind of vinyl junkies, or she's the guard, right?
My wife?
No, not your wife, Fernando's wife.
Oh, Fernando's wife.
Because you always
Sandra.
tell, yeah, Sandra always says when we talk, oh, this
Oh,
is
man,
my
she's,
records.
Por
What's up,
privado,
Sandra?
por privado.
Saludos.
My
We-
wife.
No, that's okay.
Just ask him,
She's watching
ask him
the,
privately, Dustin. Ask him privately.
No, I was just saying your
No pasa
wife,
nada.
esposa. No.
They're watching the launch.
I'm gonna get shot. I can feel her throwing a shoe from here, man. So my bad. Sorry, Sandra.
Might hit me in the back of the head. Nah, she's over there. She's over there watching the launch from the Cape Canaveral. So no,
Yeah.
well, actually, what I do have is a very good support system at home, and we know that nowadays, record buying, so many new DJs and it's a competition, and there's different affluences. There's people with bigger, heavier pockets than mine. And I'm very conscious of that. What I do have is a certain limit where I'll go, nah, absolutely not. That's not record's not worth that much
Mm.
because
Da-
you
da-
can
da-
call
da-
me
da-
the
da- da-
record.
We're gonna come to that in a second. On that note. No, but
No,
you're gonna.
luckily here-
I love Fernando. Fernando's like, okay, but this is the best. I love it, bro. Timber,
Yo.
why did you start collecting records, bro? And music in general.
So I started buying records because it was the only way I could get the music that I wanted. When I started breaking or b-boying or breakdancing, whatever you want to call it, in Belfast there was no one selling CDs. There was no internet to download anything on. All we could do was go to a record store and buy records. And so it started, and I never wanted to DJ. I always thought DJing sucked. I never liked the idea of DJing. And then once I had like 50 or 60 records, some of the guys I knew who were DJing were like, yo, come and spin at this night with us. And I'm like, okay. Because they weren't playing, they were playing some of the, like, they were playing music I liked, but there was more that I wanted to hear.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got hooked on it. Just being able to play Theme from Black Belt Jones, It's Just Begun, Apache, hear those songs out loud in a club was something that was just incredibly special to me. And then when I moved to England, that's when my record buying started really picking up, because in Belfast there was only one store. There was Backbeat Records that you could really buy hip hop records in, and there was a couple other stores, but they weren't really catered to what I was looking for.
Right.
And then when I moved to England, I moved to Manchester. There was like 7 or 8 different record stores selling soul, funk, hip hop, whatever. just all in the center of Manchester. And I just was able to access all this music that I really wanted to get, so I started buying. And same thing, people were like, "Oh, you've got this great taste in music. Why don't you DJ here? Can you DJ there?" And then there was some guys that organized a night called Fish Fry that they wanted to get some b-boys down to do the breakdancing show. So someone gave them my number, and I was like, "Well, have you guys got a DJ? Because I don't want to be dancing to no crap ass music."
Yeah.
And they were like, "No, not yet." And I'm like, "Yo, what if I do that? And then I'll get all my friends who break to come down." And they're like, "Sweet."
Yeah.
So
Are you sure? Are you sure you just were not like, you know? I mean, you were actually interested in DJing, or was it more about this, bro? Just for those of you,
yeah,
who missed it,
it was all about that. All about that.
for those of you who missed it, this was Timber spinning on his head. I had to show that while we were here again.
Man,
But
I
so
should've
you
sent
actually
you my video.
send me the video next time. But listen, Fernando, you had a question. Sorry, you had an answer to this next question, and I moved it up on the line just for you, bro, because I know you were onto something, and I'm so sorry to cut you off before. If I wasn't rude, I will try to refrain from that and be more professional.
None taken whatsoever, brother. Bring it.
I'm
What are your
fucking with you, bro. So,
What are your thoughts on the value of a record these days?
Why are you laughing,
Was
bro?
that
So
was that
what?
the question?
No, what are your thoughts on the value, like, you know, of a record these days? Because you were onto something before about, hey, you know, you're justifying kind of. Yeah, I had this question written down in another way as well, but I guess let's start with this. I hope it's clear for you guys. Like, or should I explain? Do you think records are kind of going skyrocket or through the roof? I mean, give us your thoughts on just the value of a record, maybe.
Well,
I believe
I
the
think.
value of a.
Oh, go ahead, Fernando.
Go ahead, Colin. Go ahead.
I think for me, it's one thing is it makes me thankful that I started buying Latin records when I did, because now I'm seeing records that I was able to get 10 years ago for $15, $20, $10, going for 100, 150. And I think it's nice in a way because these things are being valued, but I think on the other hand, it takes the fun out of it, because you don't really appreciate a record till you have it and you're able to hold it and listen to it and let it soak in your taste, right? So after time, sometimes you never listen to that record again, and then other times you really grow attached to it. But when you buy records, you don't necessarily have that attachment.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, there's certain things that you've heard and you really want, and it sucks that they're not so accessible, but it's
Right.
also nice to see that this music is valued culturally, that people are willing to invest their money in it.
Absolutely. What about you, Fernando? Like, I mean, you know, do you think records are the right kind of price these days, or can you give us your thoughts on just the value of salsa records today, as opposed to kind of maybe when you started collecting?
I think what has happened is that there is such an interest for salsa music, and thanks to the internet, and thanks to the different websites, and for the past, I would say, 10 years, there's been a boom of interest for salsa music, and not just for salsa music, but for the more rare records. And like I was saying earlier, your desire for a record, along with your affluence and how heavy your pocket is going to determine how much you're willing to spend for a record or not. Believe it or not, I know of you for many years. I used to be an appraiser, real estate appraising, and I would be visiting homes and whatnot. I'd come straight to my office, and the first thing I would go listen was to the Latin Social with Andy Padua. And the shows that you did a couple of times, and I remember then was when the boom of everyone wanted to get records here and there. So it changed from let's say, for instance, a certain record that would cost $35 suddenly now it's costing $90. And nowadays, a record that cost $90 back 5 years, now it's somewhere in a $300-400 mark.
Fair enough, man.
Now,
But
yeah,
what do you I mean? I guess you kind of think that it's become popular, right? It's become
it's
like
become popular. It's
really,
desirable. It's
and-
desirable, and there's bragging rights along with it.
Yeah.
I guess.
Fair
So
enough.
you got a certain record. It's difficult to find, and that gives also power to the vendor. Hey man, I got this record. How much is it? Oh, it's $600. Like I got it less than 3 days ago for a certain record,
yeah, yeah.
and I'm like $600? No, thank you. Why?
So it's-
Because it'll pop up. I always say the same thing. That record will come up somewhere else, and I know the vendor has I don't know what necessities they have, and or a certain value that they place on this record. Most certainly does not reflect, my willingness to sacrifice that amount for it, 3-4 minutes, and then put it here on the wall
Right.
and not take it out for another 7 months. Do I have bragging rights for it? Is that right to say? I guess I don't know, because I
Yeah.
spent that much, or do I really like this record and I'm willing to play it several times, like I've done with. That's why I said I fight my. I will wait. I'll catch it somewhere. There's nothing better, like what I said earlier, there's nothing better than a dusty garage sale, flea market find, when you go and you grab that record and you quietly put it under your arm and, hey, how much is it? And the guy's like, $2. You're like, oh my God. And you take that record home and you blast the hell out of it. 60% of my records have been bought like that.
There you go, man. We're gonna go into the $2 records or the $600 records now. Listen to Timber's tracks that he sent. We're gonna break it up with the track, if you guys don't mind.
Yeah,
but
before you
go
go, I actually used to work in a record store, and my boss always told me a record is only worth what someone's willing to pay for it.
Wise words.
So all these people saying this one's worth 300, this one's worth 500, it's all nonsense.
Yeah.
You have someone in front of you who's like, okay, I'll give you $25.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Or
I think
they'll-
that-
Yeah.
I think that's what it comes down to. And I mean, there's certain records that I know that people even give away, and we're gonna kind of just skim on that later, but not get into the deep and a topic of which record I'm talking about. You know what I'm, you know
Oh, yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about. But listen, we've got an invader with us before we get to your song, and since we have an invader, let's get her on the screen. Yo, what's up?
Oh boy, who's that?
What's going on?
Hi guys.
What's going on,
Nice to meet
Letty? It's Letty.
Yeah, it's Leticia.
¿Cómo estás?
Finally,
Cheers.
super nice to
Cheers.
meet you in
All right, all
person.
right. Likewise,
What are you
cheers.
wearing? You didn't tell me it was dress up
I'm
theme
wearing
tonight.
my daughter's. Let me get my headphone.
Okay,
I'm
okay,
wearing my
okay.
daughter's like hero, superhero.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hey, Leticia. So, thanks for joining us. I'm gonna go and take a poo now, and you can continue
Oh,
this
yeah?
episode, right?
Okay, it's gonna take like 20 minutes. It's gonna take,
take me 20 minutes
Let me
to-
just put my
yeah.
mic on.
All right. Do your thing. In the meanwhile, shall we play a track and then let these guys know like why you invaded us, or you want to invade
Yeah.
us? You want to play a track first?
Do
And
it.
just hang. All right. Let's do it.
Let's do
Okay.
it, jam it.
We're gonna get more views because the screen just got brighter.
Okay.
Okay, hold on a second. All right, so Timber, you sent me 2 tracks 4
Yeah.
minutes 4 minutes before this live broadcast. So that's epic, bro.
Hashtag professional.
That's
That's
true
how you
Irish
do it.
timing. you shamed the Latino and Indian community, bro. But all right, so what are we gonna play? You sent us Ella Isabe and
Yeah.
Kalunga, right?
Yeah. Take your pick. Either one.
Okay, but
can-
what?
you
Why?
can
Why
choose.
did you? So I asked you both to pick 2 tracks. The first one
Uh-huh.
the first one that just hits you, all right?
Yeah.
And I forgot why I asked you to pick the second one.
I didn't even read that.
Oh God. Okay, so this is which one hits you? I guess both of them hit you.
Damiron. Let me see.
He's super fast at finding those.
Yeah, we're gonna have a competition soon with these guys.
gotta- He's got a record Xerox copy.
Oh,
or
let's
something.
let's go with AS Isabe. Is that?
Why
is
do we?
that-
In his
No,
head.
I said Damiron.
Oh, my bad.
So this was written by Sanchez Acosta. and it was also recorded by Noro Morales. And I don't know who recorded it first, whether it was Damiron or Noro Morales. But I haven't been able to find the Sanchez Acosta one. But if it exists, please let me know.
Alrighty, here we go. We're
This
gonna hear
bass line is
Kalunga.
baseline is badass.
That's it. All right, guys, get your dancing shoes on. Here's DJ Timber, the Irish mafia of the salsa world. He's here to play this track, Kalunga. Here we go. Alrighty, and we're back. Let me just unmute everyone. Wicked track, man.
So that was the Damiron version, but there's also the Noro Morales version, which this is the album, and then this is a Spanish 7-inch, which has 4 tracks on it, with Kalunga on it and Saona as well.
Nice. Is it also from Damiron, the 7-inch, or another?
No,
one?
the 7-inch is Noro Morales.
Okay.
But
Nice
I don't think Sanchez Acosta ever recorded Kalunga.
I actually don't remember seeing it on this record, to be honest. But good to know.
You've still got Fernando on mute.
Yeah.
No, Fernando's. Oh, I'm so
No,
sorry.
he has to.
No, I got it. Oh, wait, hold on. Yeah, Fernando, it's you've chosen to mute
I'm
yourself.
back on, guys. I'm back on.
Cool. Leticia.
Okay, so you guys, I just want to say thank you for your stories. And if we didn't have this channel, we wouldn't hear all of your amazing stories, how you became DJs. So thank you for that. And I'm here to promote Agozar's next event.
Nice.
Yeah, it's gonna be big. like the last one. It's going to happen on June 13, and it's going to be under this big umbrella that we are calling Salsa Cross Borders. And we have given in. We have a theme, so it's going to be Llegó la banda. The band is here. Here comes the band, and almost every day we're going to reveal one band. So today we're revealing La Máxima 79. Yeah, I know, crazy, right?
Water.
Amazing.
Water.
So La Máxima 79, they bring a fresh take on that old school salsa sound. And they did their last album, I think it's called Resilience. Yeah, you have it. Of course you have.
There he
I
is.
like the I'm no good for cheese song.
Yeah.
I'm no good for cheese. Does anybody remember that song? Everybody remember the I'm no good por queso?
Can we put one?
That song
Do
rocks.
we have time?
No, but
That song rocks.
no, but in all seriousness, this is gonna be sick, man. You know, thank you for
So
invading.
that's one of many. And I just want to say hello and thank you to the team. Coco, Luis, Dola, Ana Maria is known as Lati, and Dustin, of course. So just stay tuned.
Thank you, Leticia.
Yeah.
There's a
Thank
tune
you.
on their new album called El Trío del Puma, which is absolutely spectacular.
Yeah.
But they haven't put it out on vinyl yet. I don't know why.
No.
Estoy esperando.
Estás esperando.
Maybe we can ask them live when we get them on the live Timber about
Yeah,
that.
we
all right?
could. That's a good question.
Yeah.
Thank you,
But-
Timber.
That'll be $5. Just PayPal me.
Sure. Here they come.
Pero loca, gracias.
De nada.
We talk when we talk.
Yeah.
Enjoy getting back to the cat cave.
Cat cave?
Your outfit. I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
It looked like a red.
It's a pajamas. It's like she's an owl.
Oh, it's an owl. Okay.
Yeah, it's an owl.
There you go. I
And
didn't
she
know.
loves it. My kid is 5. She like every day. She's like
Nice one.
she loves Superman as well. So she loves superheroes.
Cool, man. But
Okay.
we really appreciate you, Leticia, as well. So thank you so much for jumping in, and all you do
nada.
as well. Okay.
So be nice, everyone. And
Impossible.
you know what I mean.
Ciao,
And take
loca.
care. Ciao.
Encantado de
We'll fight
verte.
crime. You're
Igualmente.
gonna have the light up in the air looking for you.
Oh, speaking of promoting things, on
Yes.
on Sunday,
Yes.
me and El Señor Alexis Style are
Yes.
doing a little back-to-back. So 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern time, Alexis gonna be breaking down some music that I've sent to him and doing a
Okay.
dance workshop.
Right.
And then 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. I'm gonna do a live DJ set from Facebook.
All right. Cool, man. I'm looking forward to. I seen the ad come up. How did you guys come up with that idea? It's a great idea.
So Dustin, you introduced us, as you know, and we just started chatting privately through Facebook, and then I watched one of the interviews he did, and he said that he got married in Gibraltar, and me and my wife got married in Gibraltar as well. So I was like, that's weird. So I go on his Facebook and I look through his pictures, and we got married in the exact same place in the Botanical Gardens, and we have the same picture on the same bridge.
Different wives, though.
Yeah, different wives.
Yeah. Christ for that.
Yeah.
Okay, so
And
you guys.
yeah, I sent him a message one day. I don't know. I was looking through my records, and I was like, I think I'm getting the urge to do another live stream.
Mhm.
Because I think in the start everyone was really excited about them, and that excitement's dropped off a little bit.
Yeah.
But I still think there's still room for quality product out there. So I sent him a message and said, I'm thinking about doing another live stream, and he was like, let's do something. And I'm like, So we had a little back and forth, and we came up with this idea that we would have like a musicality challenge, and I'll send him some different type of salsa songs, and then he'll break them down. So I sent him a list of like 20 songs, and I'm like, which ones do you want to use? And he's like, all of them. But I can only do like 3 or 4 in an hour. So we're going to do that. And then I think we're going to put a little chat with me and him in the middle and talk about why we selected the songs.
Fair enough.
But he's, a super talented guy. He makes amazing music. He seems to be somewhat of a legend in the dance scene. And I'm super excited to see what he comes up with on Sunday.
We'll definitely tune in, bro, and help get everyone. The Agozar team will definitely be there, man. And Fernando, talking about live streams, I never really got to meet you or see you, and you were kind of playing music from apparently the Salsa Dura show back then. But when I seen you doing your live streams, I was first of all just blown away by the record collection, and you were just dropping records and just getting into it.
Darth Vader.
And at first I was like, wow, this guy's got a nice back, because you were like getting. I'm like, turn around, bro. Who are you? Tell us who you are. And you had all these record transitions. I think it was your neighbor or something doing all these awesome, OBS transitions live.
So I'll tell you a little bit about that if you guys let me real quick.
Yeah.
I saw the Kobe party and I thought, what a fantastic thing to be able to share some of this music. There you go. You got it. That's my wife that does that. She's my audio video. She's my audio video whole department. So I'm normally not. I don't do lives. I just play raw music in my house. I have a pretty hard career. My job is a little crazy. So my music is what has helped me throughout my entire career. So. DJing per se, not that much, but I love what the Kobe party is doing because it's worldwide. And as they gain more momentum, and I thought, wow, what a great thing. So I got in contact with the guys, and got in contact with Hogg and oh my God, his name, it just goes
Ricardo,
and there's a couple of guys there, and they helped me out.
I think it's Jim and Dimitri and. I'm going to miss names now. Probably, yeah.
And all those guys were fantastic and allowing me to be part of it. And I was like, okay. And they're like, hey, do you have OBS system? And do you have an iRig? And you have this? And I'm like, no.
I got records.
So I'm like, no. So I went and I ordered all the stuff, right? I ordered the iRig and everything and all that. It took like a month to arrive. Then they sent the wrong cable. Then I argue with them. They send me another cable, the wrong one again. And I'm like, oh, now meanwhile, I'll just do the show. So I'm like, I'll just play the music straight up the way the phone listens to it and sends it to you guys. So apparently I got a good response from it. People have liked what I play. I think the music, you shouldn't just play records. Show the people what you're playing.
Yeah.
There's so many people playing records in Facebook and all different types of social media mediums. Mm-hmm. And they play the song and they're like, who is this? Tell me something. Show me something. And to me, I don't know, it irks me. I'll be honest, 100%. I'll just continue scrolling. I don't care how bad your song is. Sorry. When I play the music here, I want to make sure everybody knows.
So does it piss you off, like in general, when people hold titles, when DJs kind of?
I think it's unnecessary. I think none of those records belong to us, really. Again, the bragging rights. Can we say that again? Sort of like the bragging rights for spending $600 on a record. But the music is for music itself. And there's a lot of mediums out there saying, oh, the music is to share and let's share. Yeah, well, let's share it. So that's what I do. I play a record. If you ask me, I've had people afterwards send me messages. Hey, can you send me the playlist? Most definitely. Here it is. And not only do I send the playlist, but I additionally put the picture of the record. If I happen to find the link of somebody selling the record, I'll send them the link. Because that's what we do. I'm doing the same thing that was done to me when I was getting started in this, right?
Yeah,
and,
for sure.
and from people that were like, yeah, man, this is this record and whatnot, and this is the song that sounds pretty good, because everybody likes a different song from a record, you know.
Yeah.
And that's what I've gotten from Kobe. I'll have a record and I'm like, wait a minute, I never heard that song from a record, because I'm always playing another song.
Yeah.
And I think that's been something that I've myself had to learn to get out of the norm of me always playing the same songs. I'm like, wait a minute, I have that record. I never heard that song. So
Yeah.
I've found myself saying that a couple of times. So when I do the show, I bring in a lot of energy. I'm gonna pop you with 3-4 songs, one after the other, because I want you to get into the groove. And then afterwards, I'm gonna show you, hey, this is the record. This is the other record. I have records here that I've seen sell for $500-$600, and I'm like, man, I got that record for like $20. So yeah, maybe for me, it's an expectancy to, I ain't paying all of that for a record, because I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna be patient about it. And if I need to hear it, I'm gonna put it on YouTube. Or I'll put it on MP3. I have more than 15 gigabytes worth of music. If it really is for the music itself,
right?
I don't think it matters what format you listen to it. If you really, really enjoy the music. So it's nothing but energy. Let's give the people the energy. Let's let them enjoy. Let's have a good time. And people are like, damn, oh, that song, this other song, this other song. And I still have like a stack of like 30 records. I could do like maybe 6 more Kobe parties with songs that people have not heard.
And I'm gonna ask a follow-up question to Timber.
Can I jump in?
Yeah, please do. Go on. It's about the same topic, but go on, Timber. Share your thoughts here.
So in the b-boy and hip hop world, like when you're cutting up funk records, the whole thing is don't give away your titles. So what we used to do is we would put stickers on the records and cover them up. So there's a little marker here that points to where the break starts.
Wait. Let me just blow up your screen. Hold on. Not blow it up, but you know.
Yeah. So there's you would cover up the records so people couldn't tell what record it was. Wow. Then you get 2 copies and you
guys
cover them both up.
You got this, Timber?
Oh, I got that one. Bob James.
You had to have 2 of them, right?
Yep. You got to cut them up.
You got to cut them up. 2 of them. Ding, 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 ding. It was one or the other, right? You see me and this guy go back. It's like you and I knew each other way back in the day, bro.
But that art is kind of, I would say, does it still exist? Because I mean,
yeah.
You know,
well, I think it changed. I mean, the whole Serato thing completely changed it, because then you no longer had to cover the records, and like you would do stuff like when you pull the record out of the box, instead of putting it this way so the covers fit, you turn around. So you got the sleeve at the back so people can't even see it.
Yeah.
And then I got into salsa, and that, at least when I got into it, that culture didn't really exist. And for me, it was like a breath of fresh air, because it was like, do you know what? Who the fuck cares? It's that old adage, like if you give the best, you give like Kenny Dope's music archives to some guy who started DJing last week, you're not going to hear anything like what Kenny Dope's going to do, or what Louis Vega, or what any DJ is going to do. Like you can take Fernando's records and give them the DJ, and you're not going to get the same energy. You're not going to get the same vibe. So it's nice to have your own little secrets, but also sharing is caring. And I think it's nice to be selective with who you really share with. Because some people, all they want is, they just want to collect information, and they want to copy whatever. They don't want to copy because they appreciate. Yeah. It's just like they're copy.
Hoarders. I think it comes back down to like, there's a thing that's called in sales, it's called a fear of loss. And if you inject the fear of loss in somebody, it's almost the same. It's like, oh my God, I've got something you don't have. And they just want to know that they have it. So I know exactly what you're talking about. And actually, that was my follow-up question. It's like, how many people that hit you up for a collection, or, the track titles, actually really wanted genuinely to listen to it? And, you don't have to answer that. But think about this. It's like, how many people that get the tracks that they didn't have actually go back and listen to those tracks? It'd be interesting to see the metrics on their playlist. How many times have they listened to those tracks? And it exists. But I mean, it's a classic. When you're playing music, I'm sure you've witnessed this. You're playing tracks of records that people have, but they just haven't listened. It's the same thing with people with MP3s or any format. Do you agree?
I think one of the golden rules about buying records is take your time. Like, you don't need everything now. And also for me, when there's a guy called DJ Lacey who passed away, I think in 2004, 2005. He completely changed the sound of what we were dancing to as b-boys. Very influential DJ, and may he rest in peace. He would like the first time I heard him DJ, I was like, and I didn't want to know what he was playing, because the idea that this music that just made my head explode exists is enough to keep me going for 10 years, to keep looking for it. But I don't want a list of the 10 songs or 20 songs, 30 songs, whatever it is that he played, so I can just go out and get them. And then that energy, that search, that hunger, it dies there. So, it's like, don't just take your time.
Share the story, bro, if you don't mind.
It's-
I hope I spelled his name right. 'cause
No,
you told me.
Leacy.
Leacy. You told me a story about a track that you did want from him, and
Yeah.
you became friends with him, and whatnot. Do you mind sharing that story? Because it was for me, it was a special story.
Of course.
Guys, we're 10 minutes over the hour, but I don't really have any rush on my end. I'm just checking with you guys. Do you mind if we continue for a bit more?
I'm good. So Lacey was English, but his parents are both Irish, and I guess he found out that there was another Irish guy DJing breaks, and he kind of took a shining to me. And I was always very respectful. I didn't want to be one of these guys. What's this song? Because you just don't do that to people you look up to. Like in the hip hop culture, that's you slap. So we started talking. I sent him one of my mixtapes, and he called me up, and he's like, "Oh, this was nice," and I think he asked me about one song, so I told him what it is, and I said, after talking to him for like a year, I thought, okay, now it's not too out of line, but I'm gonna ask him what this one song is. And he's like, "Yo, have you ever heard of a group called Mandrill?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I know who they are, but and he's like, and I'm like, okay. So I went out and I spent the next like 3 years just digging for Mandrill records, and I never found the record that I was after. And like, I don't know, it's maybe a year after he died, I found the record that I was asking about. It wasn't even Mandrill.
I was about to say, was it the Mandrill that I sent you a couple of years back?
No, but it was. He sent me on a journey of discovery of Mandrill that opened my eyes to so much more music. So sometimes a little bit of misdirection is helpful, and it's just those stories that they stay with you.
Absolutely. Thanks for sharing that, and rest in peace, DJ Lacey.
Rest in peace.
Would you guys want to play your another track to give the? Oh, there we go.
These are a couple of records that Lacey put out for the breaks. Of course, there's 2 copies each. And on my turntables, I actually have the slip mats from the artwork. So that's the back of the record, and that's it.
Nice.
Wow, that's beautiful, man.
They were done by a guy called Dan Deuce. Shout outs if you're listening, Dan, who's part of the Dynasty Rockers from New York, but he's originally English. He's super talented artist. I don't know what his Instagram is, but he's sick. Dan Duce.
You blow that up. Props to Dan Hughes. I mean, it looks awesome.
Yeah.
I'm sure he was a painter and whatnot, and some nice pieces.
Graph guy. His Instagram's sick. He's got loads of like hip hop art and pictures of drawings of Rakim and all sorts of shit going on. So
nice.
Check him out.
We'll definitely check it out. Thank you for the tips, and I'm sure the audience will check it out too. Fernando, you want to play a track, bro? The audience is still with us,
so,
and I was just thinking, do you want to play a second track, or did you want to comment on?
I got a second track, and let's see. I had a hard time picking this one because it was between two of them. It ended up being one that really hits me hard, and it wasn't the one I originally thought. But all right, so my career, I guess it's no secret. I'm a sergeant with the Miami Police Department, and
Oh,
I've seen a
what?
lot. I'm a
You
sergeant
hide
with the
my
Miami.
plants, bro. Sorry, keep. Sorry.
So ever since I became a police officer, it's just like this dark cloud just following me everywhere, and I think I've seen it all. I've had one incident after the other before I got promoted and became supervisor, a position that I'm at right now. So I always wanted to help people, right? I always wanted to be there for somebody and just take care of business, and what was right was right. So I ended up having a guy commit suicide on me. And I remember going into that house that day, and I said, you know what, man, I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna help this guy out. And after so hard and pouring so much of myself to try to save this guy's life, eventually he jumped from the 18th floor. And a more shocking moment it couldn't have been in my entire life. That this guy, and it wasn't because I wanted to see, because once the guy jumped, I went back and I said, I don't want to record that in my brain. The sound of the guy hitting down on the bottom was something I'll never forget. Needless to say, a week later, I ended up in a shooting and I had to take some medicine. It was horrible. It was a cannibal attack, and it's just all over the world, and everybody was in shock that in Miami there was a zombie and this and that and the other. And it's me. So God tapped me in the shoulder and said, "You go there, take care of business." So yeah. So what happens is that afterwards you become more cautious, right? In everything that you go do, like now you worry more about your family, and then you become a certain person. Like you don't want to give so much to yourself, even though you're in a certain career where it is expected of you to be that. But I pull back now. So the lyrics of the song don't necessarily pertain to it, but the actual quote, the song says, "I wanted to change the world, and that's why the way that I am," right? And every time I hear the song, and I know that if it's 2 o'clock in the morning and I've had a couple of drinks and the song kicks in, it breaks me in half. So I want to play it for you guys. I hope you guys enjoy it. Super rare, one of those salsa records that you barely see come out, and vendors are gonna want to stick you in the throat for it. Hope you enjoy it. Here we go, guys. Enjoy.
Thanks for sharing, man.
Escuchen, hermanos todos, y presten mucha atención, que aunque lejos yo estoy, con el corazón. Casi un ermitaño soy, y estoy en meditación. Yo quise cambiar el mundo, por eso estoy como estoy. Casi un ermitaño soy, y estoy en meditación. Yo quise cambiar el mundo, por eso estoy como estoy. Escuchen, hermanos todos, y presten mucha atención, que aunque lejos estoy, en el corazón. Casi un ermitaño soy, yo estoy en meditación. Yo quise cambiar el mundo, por eso estoy como estoy. Casi un ermitaño soy, yo estoy en meditación. Yo quise cambiar el mundo, por eso estoy como estoy. Por eso estoy como estoy. Yo quise cambiar el mundo, por eso estoy como estoy. Escuchen todo por un segundo. Estoy en meditación. En el libro de la vida, ermitaño soy. Buscando siempre la comprensión. Mira, saben que te vivo sin un amor, sin un amor, la vida
Oh
es mi
no,
alma,
there he is.
no me
All right, looks like there's some intermittence in the connection.
grita candela que se quema la raya, mi soledad es mi amiga y nunca me falla, por eso estoy como estoy.
Oh yeah. All right, Fernando, thank you for sharing, and thank you for the lovely feedback in my ears. It woke me up, bro. It was great. Oh my God, Timber.
Got my Bob
Um,
James on the go.
we
Just
had
for you,
a,
Fernando.
there you go.
I did the same thing
We
when I
had a
was
little
in
bit
school.
of
Sorry, man.
intermittence in
I'm not a
regards to your
microphone.
internet
I'm
connection,
just a salsa.
Fernando. Are you there? Hello, are you there? Okay, so we're gonna Timber.
Timber's moving too much. I'm there. I'm
No,
here.
would you mind? Would you mind? Just okay. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, that's good. I was like checking the internet connection or something, but it looks like it's back to normal now. Thank you for sharing that story. That was really personal, and
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that song is definitely. I can see why it hits you.
You know,
Um,
it's difficult, but you know, the music has always helped out. Believe it or not, the minute that I went into after what happened with the shooting, first thing I went and I got sat down and
okay, so we lost.
first thing I did is I plugged up to one of the radio stations and I started listening to the LeBron Brothers to calm down.
There you go.
So yeah, man, salsa and music is not just for dancing for me. You know, I can sit here and play all these records for hours and
Sure.
drink a whole bottle of scotch and not do a circle whatsoever, a dance. You just play maracas or play, you know, like I'm an unsung musician, an untrained musician just by ear.
Yeah.
And music will help you. And tunes like this, a song that just played, you know, just the chorus of it. And there's another song, and the wife and I were talking about it last night. Hey, which of the two songs hits you the hardest? Because the other one is Somos Nada
Yeah.
from Orlando Pabellon, and that song has such a deep meaning.
Hmm.
Or specifically, me being very moved during the time when I got involved into that. You know, there's been other incidents which are similar. Which, you know, I'll talk about those, but you know, when you're in a uniform, you know, there's an expectancy of you to do the right thing,
Sure.
and you have to know when to draw the
I think
line
I
on your
think
loved ones with your records. You want to be around for your
Fernando,
records.
it seems like we're having a lot of intermittence like a disruption in the connection right now. I think I just posted that your neighbors are downloading torrents again into the chat room. But I was gonna say, do you reckon we could get into another track and then like kind of I could talk to you guys for hours and we've hit like nearly an hour and a half already, and it's just I don't even feel like it's been an hour and a half. It's the same thing happening with Frankie last week. I'm like, what? Where are these chats going? And I love it because they're not stressed. We're just taking our times, and actually, this is kind of how we hang. For most people that don't know us, like us, the DJ species. Like, what the fuck was
Very
that?
special
No, but
species.
I mean, we're real people. We just talk like this on and off. This is us. We're not putting on anything. We're like, these are exactly the same stories we discuss off the screen. I think that's what I love about sharing this with everyone, a lot. you know.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So yeah, man. But listen, Timber, you're dying to play a record, but you don't have the setup. I'm gonna play the next track for you, right?
What do you mean I don't have the setup?
No, I know you're a professional DJ. I'm talking about.
my Crossley turntable.
I'm talking about. Are you set up to play? Play if you want to play it on record.
No. I'm not. I don't. It's either talk or play music. So I chose talk today, unfortunately for everyone.
Okay.
But this is what we're gonna hear.
Is that what I think it is?
I don't know. It depends on what you think.
Hold on.
Is
I'm
it
zooming in. Yeah.
There we go.
Yes.
So I believe this is Manuel y sus Estrellas, who recorded for Ibirac Records. They were a guy from Chicago. I added this to the Discogs database, and someone messaged me asking to buy it, and I told them no. And then they said that it was their father's band, and that they used to play in Chicago. I'm fairly inclined to believe them. But both sides of it are pretty badass. There's A Ponerse Duros, which I may or may not play on Sunday, but we're going to hear the other side, which is Ella Sí Sabe Bailar, which, according to the label, is a Huaganco. They've misspelled Huahuanco on both sides on Boarding Cuba Records. I've never seen another copy or heard of anyone with one. I don't know. It seems pretty rare.
All right, man. That's for all the guys that are out there that enjoy some rare and obscure records. I'm sure they'll like it, and just general good music. So
Shout outs to Efrain if he's watching, and Alex Gonzalez as well. You guys have both been on talks with Dusty before and dropping serious knowledge. So, salute.
Salute. Do you guys want to do any more shout outs? We got Gary D in the house. Laia, how you doing, Laia? Also Swedish. Louise, what's going on? Yeah, it's a lot of guys on the chat, and I need to scroll, and I'm so sorry. Vincenze, Lucese, Mark B. I always have problems with, man, I need glasses, dude. I'm getting old. Matt B. I call him Matt Mark every show. My bad. I'm going to get it right by the end of this. Shout out to all you cats. And Alex Zuluaga as well, which is the director of the Feria de Cali. He's tuned in as well and watching this. So shout outs. What's up?
Shout out to Gilberto Santa Rosa. Thanks for tuning in, bro. It's good to see you on there.
All right, Mark Anthony couldn't make it. He's stuck in the drive-through, but he's going to join as soon as he can.
He didn't want to pay the extra for the 10 gigabytes on his mobile plan.
He's singing out there in a Cuban cafeteria in the corner, guys.
We're going to play the next track. Meanwhile, Fernando, just go and throw a brick at your neighbor's house to stop stealing the Wi-Fi. And we're going to get back to the last couple of questions and then cut it for this evening's performance. All right, so here's your track. You want to announce it again, Timber, in Gaelic?
I don't actually speak Gaelic, unfortunately. But this is Manuel y sus Estrellas, Ella Sí Sabe Bailar, on Boarding Cuba.
Toda la gente ya murmura de la negra del solar, que cuando sale a bailar no hay quien la pueda parar. Esa negra sí que baila con el ritmo sabroso, pero ella tiene un defecto y nadie se lo quitará, porque ella tiene un defecto y nadie se lo quitará. Ella sí sabe bailar. Agüita bombón y agüita bombón. Ella sí sabe.
Shout out Alexi Style.
Agarra a tu pareja y ponte a vacilar. Ella sí sabe bailar. Qué rico que bravo es para gozar. Ella sí sabe bailar. Sabor, sabor, sabor dominante. Yo te lo canto bien sabrosón. Ella sí sabe bailar, pero no tiene sabor. Era visca fea y tuerta y no tenía ni chispitita de sabor. Ella sí sabe bailar, pero no tiene sabor. Ven, ven, Belén, para que goces, para que vaciles bien sabrosón. Ella sí sabe bailar, pero no tiene sabor. Qué rico y bueno lo gozo. Yo sí lo bailo bien sabrosón. Ella sí sabe bailar, pero no tiene sabor. Era visca, tuerta y fea y lo bailaba bien sabrosón. Ella sí sabe bailar, pero no tiene sabor. Alale, 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 alale.
Shout out Jerome. Yes, what's up, Jerome, Steve, Gary, Garrett, Torgears listening, Wachiwaro.
What's up? Alrighty. Fun fact: I actually had to hack this system to play the track, and I'm listening to the delay, so sometimes I mess up. But thanks for doing the shout outs to everyone, and yeah, I mean, thanks for everyone to stay, to listen to Salsa Nerds for an hour and a half. That shows you're a nerd as well. So welcome to the nerd club of salsa. It's nice to hang. And I know Fernando normally comments on that quite a lot. We are thrilled to have you guys today, and I would just like to open up the last kind of segment to just give your message out to everyone that's listening, of everyone that's in the game. First of all, and yeah, I mean, I'll open it up. I don't really have any more questions. I found you guys in itself are just so interesting that I didn't want to just go for the classic, questions as well. I wanted to just open it up and just let you guys be who you are.
I think for me, the most important thing is always give something back. I mean, that's kind of how we all met, is by putting ourselves out there and putting our music out there. And then you just connect with like-minded people. And I always said, like, if you love something enough, it will love you back and it will take care of you. And that's kind of always been my philosophy with music and DJing and dance, is just to do it and love it, and it'll come back to you. Like Fernando, I found him on Instagram many years ago, and I was just blown away. It was just like record after record after record after record, and it wasn't all rare stuff. It was like some really rare stuff, then some like $10 records that I didn't know existed, which are probably now $100 records, thanks to Fernando. And it's like just I grew this admiration for him as a person without ever talking to him. And then we started talking, and then he left Instagram and he said, like, add me on Facebook. Yo me voy del Instagram, and so we started chatting, and then he was one of the few people I ever swapped records with. I just found there was so many people out there on Facebook trying to sell me records. I wasn't interested in getting ripped off by any of them. I'm sure there's some honest ones out there, but there was a lot of them just smelled of scam straight away.
Mm-hmm.
But with Fernando, we kind of built a rapport, and I guess we became friends over time. And when I moved to Canada, he said, "Brother, I'm gonna come visit you one day." So I said, "Okay, well, let me get life sorted first, and because I just moved here from Spain and get somewhere to live." And so we got a house, and I said, "Okay, like cuando quiera, we're ready. We got some for you to stay." So Fernando came up. We went and picked him and Sandra up from the airport, and we went ziplining in Niagara. We played at La Rumba Buena together, and it was a very special time. He brought me a very special gift, which we won't go into much detail. Yeah, it all came about through just sharing our love for music. And sometimes you get to a point in life where you're like, should I just keep this for myself? And I think the answer for me has always been no. It's always share it. Sharing is caring, and that way you connect with people. And I mean, you're the same, Dusty. I guess we met through the internet. I don't even know how. I just looking for salsa anywhere. Because when I started with salsa, I didn't know nobody, so it was just me on my own, just looking and looking and looking. And I think that gave me a very distinct perspective, because I didn't come into salsa through the dance, and I didn't come into salsa through having grown up with it. I just found it as a music nerd, and just went at it and started discovering. So for me, I didn't know what were hits for who, and like over time you slowly build this knowledge. And I mean, I want to give a big shout out to everyone in Barcelona, there was a thriving music scene back when I moved there in 2008. You could go to 3 or 4 concerts in 1 week and think nothing of it. And I went to every single one I could. And just hearing live music, it gave me a whole different appreciation, because you can listen to it on record, but until you're in a small club of like 80 people or 60 people, and half those people are musicians and they're just slamming away, it's like then you really understand what it's about.
Losing their shit. It's all the moment, right?
Yeah.
Man, thanks for sharing, bro. And I totally agree with everything that you said. I mean, it's bang on, man.
And
it's real.
Much love to both of you. For like, I really mean that. You guys are annoying as shit. No, I'm joking.
I know.
It's nice. It's nice to meet people as nerdy as I am, and bond about it. And it's not about us. That's what I'm trying to say, I guess.
No.
Most definitely, yeah.
Yeah, man. Fernando, I mean, your thoughts, bro. I mean, thanks for sharing again, Timber. And can I reveal your name to the people?
Yeah, my name's Colin.
Yeah.
Big whoop.
Because
what's that all about?
Yeah.
So I'll tell you why Timber came about. Timber was it was an insult which turned into just a constant insult, which kind of turned into a nickname. Because when I was learning head spins, because I'm 6'4" or 193 centimeters.
Sitting down or standing up?
Standing up. And when I was learning to do head spins,
that's why I look like a 5-year-old next to him in that photo.
That's true.
It's the jeans, Fernando. It's the jeans.
I had to Photoshop this
Look at
picture
that, man.
to go.
I'm actually standing on top of a box right there, guys. So on top of a box.
You're sitting on Sandra's shoulders, bro. Tell the truth.
Still remember that day. I guess for me, man, first of all, allow me just do a quick shout out to everyone that's involved in this realm of salsa and record collecting, and the dancers and the DJs and everyone that's continuing with this culture, moving it forward. Please don't stop. Keep promoting it. Keep pushing it. myself here locally in South Florida with my small group of friends that we have. Shout out to all my boys, Juan Carlos Parra, Lucas Torres, the old master who started me out was Pedro Revista. He sells records to everybody. Even back in the day, it was a guy named Hector El Indio, Victor Alvarez, and many of the other DJs that launched me into this. Man, I want to thank you. Thanks to all the guys back in the home country, mi gente en Colombia, en Cali, que me enseñaron esto desde chiquito. Y esto no se acaba. It doesn't finish. You continue going. And yes, I may express myself more often in English because it's what hey, I'm from South Florida. I'm more a Miami guy, I guess, and Colombia because Miami was who accepted me. So if you're in this culture, keep pushing it, keep moving it. You'd be surprised. With my career, I'll go work like the American Airlines Arena, and you'll have like one reggaetonero, and you have like 19,000 people to go see the same guy, and it's the same diggity, diggity, diggity. And I'm thinking, why can't we bring La Sonora Ponceña or maybe like a band that will bring this many people? So my aspirations are for one day to this South Florida culture and all the cultures everywhere to still maintain that. Don't lose this. Don't become complacent with what's being pushed to you by the local media. You have to call the radio stations and say, "Hey man, can you please play the song? You already played that reggaeton song 5 times. I need you to play the salsa song for me," or
Yeah.
however it is. And I think that's why local internet radio stations work.
Yeah.
Because for me, I don't listen to a single radio station locally in Miami. It irks me, believe it or not, and I have to say it. I have to admit it because I go to a cafeteria and that's all that's being pumped. I go to your gas station and that's all that's being and it's being fed to children. The cassette, remember the beginning of our conversation?
Right.
South Florida children's cassette is being recorded with, I guess, I don't know, the lyrics of nowadays music, per se. Um, I myself, I will continue to push this. I will continue to promote this. I want to appreciate. I want to say thank you, Kobe Party, and you, Dustin, for allowing me to be part of this.
Pleasure.
Because we can now pull out these records and play it. About 20 years ago, there's a Cuban club here, and it's called Hoy Como Ayer. It's on 8th Street in like 20 something. And myself, along with another DJ named Andrew Yomanson, he's from the Spam All Stars. This guy reminds me of you.
Wow.
So Andrew would do his funky thing with his band and everything. And he's like, I don't know how we met up. I remember going there one time and this guy starts playing like Randy Carlos. And I'm like, what? So I had to go to the back and I'm like, let me see what records you have here. Like La Fantastica and Randy Carlos. And he had like, like all these records. And I'm like, where'd you get this? And he's like, oh, I had this like nonchalantly. And I'm there like besides myself. So I'm like, you got to let me play here with you. Now we're going back 20 years, possibly.
Yeah.
So I would bring everything and I was playing for a multicultural audience where everyone was dancing.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what I was playing for people. Everyone was partaking and everyone was enjoying it. It didn't matter what I played. I could have been mambo or cha-cha, whatever it was that I was playing, because I was removing myself from the typical salsa club norm. The same Lebron, Ponceña thing, like I don't know. It's always played, and it's fine. There's just nothing wrong with it because, it's good music. Now going back to what I was saying, the culture, please let's not lose it. Let's not continue. Look, we have an Irish, and we have somebody from India, and you have Colombia. Look at the difference in continents, and yet we're holding on to the same passion for this music. To all you guys that are out there, if you're involved, if you're watching, please, man, continue to ask the DJs, hey, play the song, and ask for the rare stuff. Learn a little bit. And if they don't give you the answer, call me. I got you. I'll get you the name of the song. I'll help you out with the cover of the record. I'll tell you how much it should cost. It ain't no damn $600. I'll tell you that much.
Listen, thank you for being so. I mean, just thank you for being yourselves. What the hell? That's just it, point blank. And I think everyone that's kind of come on here, as I really welcome anyone to come on here and share your stories as well. I keep on saying it, and we're actually backed up 5 weeks now with different DJs going to come in here. So next week is going to be Wachiwado and Under the Scope, Torgeir, my homie
Nice.
from Norway. What's up, Torgeir? He's listening too. Collector of the rear. Of the rear. I said
the
rear.
year, Dustin.
Whoops. Slip of the tongue.
That's my boy Carlos Duran from Sandunga Radio. They were very nice. We did a collector's event.
How many of those awards have you got, Fernando?
I put them in the office. They're all over there.
That's brilliant, man.
It's like the Fernando Award now.
We do the collector events, and everyone has their opportunity to come and bring their rares, just like you just did right now. And we do that, man. And we we encourage each other to go out there and continue digging. Just like I said, there's nothing better than a dusty finger dig. You find that record and you put it on like this.
Absolutely, man. It's funny you say Carlos Duran. I just met him like the last week, and he's interviewing a lot of musicians and whatnot, right? It's the same Carlos Duran. There's only probably one Carlos Duran.
Correct. Yeah, that's it.
How random, and you drop his name now. So small world, man.
Go
on.
There's a quote from Bobby Matos that it kind of sums everything that I guess I believe in music. It's in Spanish. Esta es música real, creada por músicos que creen apasionadamente en su trabajo. Nosotros no tocamos para hacernos ricos, sino porque nos sentimos obligados a hacer algo mucho más grande que nosotros. So he's basically saying we don't play to make ourselves rich, but because we're motivated by something that's bigger than us.
Yeah.
And that kind of sums it up for me. It's, just do something, get involved.
It's awesome, bro. I didn't know you spoke Gaelic, but thank you for sharing that with us. After all, anyone. No, I mean, it was great. I really want to thank you both again for joining. And so next week, make sure you tune in for Wachi and keep following these guys. Where can we? So we're going to hear Timbo on Sunday with Alexis Style on his kind of like dancer DJ kind of challenge, I guess.
Yeah.
You could call it that, right?
We're doing it in collaboration with Co-Beat, so shout out to Co-Beat Party. And it'll be on Alexis's Facebook, and then the second half will be on my Facebook.
Cool. And I guess also on the Co-Beat page, so make sure you check that out, guys. We'll definitely be supporting, so wicked. Fernando, when are we going to hear you playing next, and how can everyone kind of, follow you or add you with the right mentality?
So, no, I believe I received the right cable from Salsa Jim. I'm sorry, from Hong. Finally, Hong helped me out. He sent me the cable. So Salsa Jim and I had gotten back and forth into, hey, you should try the iRig and whatnot. And I'm like, yes, but sorry, guys. I don't have the right cable back and forth. And Hong and I were talking a couple of days ago. He's like, I have that cable. And he sent it to me. It arrived yesterday. So once I get that whole thing going, I want to make sure that the whole world gets the sound correct and that they hear it. I know that when I play here, I play it raw, I play it loud. But maybe a little bit of enhancement would be just okay.
Yes.
And maybe a little bit different angles. I don't know.
No. Listen, you can change the cable, but don't change your beautiful transitions, bro.
All right.
Yeah.
That's my awesome film crew, man. That's my ninjas awesome, in the background, man. All good. I will most likely be doing another cool beat within the month. I would say probably by early June sometime.
Cool,
and
man.
I'll be posting it there. Salsa_operator on Facebook. So you look me up there. Hey man, I'll be glad to just once again fill up an entire hour with a lot of energy. I try not to get involved in looking at my cell phone or I'm like record. Okay, here's what you heard. Let's go to the next one. Same thing, salsa dura, and just enjoying, partaking in the music, and sharing and teaching people.
But I think there's also something beautiful about the way you've been doing your streams, Fernando, because it's not just plugged in the audio. Like there's a part of you that transmits with the ambience, with the when I listen to your streams, like I know you come out 100 miles an hour just chopping down trees, and it's like holy, we're in for a ride now, and like.
But it's nothing better than, you throw a pachanga, then you wawanko, and then a charanga, and then you don't know what's next. Like, I don't want I don't want to throw guaguancó after guaguancó after guaguancó. Like,
100%.
I could if
Yeah.
I wanted to, but I'm gonna throw some West Indies stuff, you know, and that is something that for me is amazing to have music from France and West Indies and all that stuff, and it's like salsa, and it's like good salsa. And if I get my hand one of those records, I'm like, oh shit, there, bring it.
Yes.
So I try to throw that, and I also have shown my friends throughout the years, hey, typical combo and super combo and polyrimo and
Yes.
Bento Gustav and Joel Lawani and all that stuff, and I'm like, hey, that's also salsa.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
don't get confused. It ain't the same. And I'm gonna say this one more time with all due respect to the DJs, and my boy Juancho's gonna concur with me on this. Stop playing the same thing over and over. Learn. Let's learn. Get with me. I will teach you. Get with me. Don't get mad at me. Yeah, don't get mad at me. I'm telling you that there's so much music out there.
Sure.
Because if you're gonna get in front of two turntables or on a computer, or you're gonna get in front of the camera and you're gonna play the same songs over again,
Yeah, versatility is the key, man. I mean, I think if you
versatility is a
eat the same food every day, it's the same thing. You're gonna get sick of that. So I think being open and also coming back and revisiting that. I have a theory with my kids, for example. I always give them something to try, and if they don't like it now, I'll try it again, and like try it again in a year. And I don't stop giving them that thing to try, because your palate and your brain and your body, your senses, everything is maturing and always maturing. So you should always keep on trying to step out of that kind of comfort zone with your ears too, right? And I think that's where you're talking about. It's that versatility. So if nothing pleases me more, and I'm glad you touched the Timber on kind of, cats that kind of really rotate the different subgenres and then continents and colors of music that are out there. So I really admire both of you guys for being able to be not and doing it not for any other reason, but just doing it naturally.
Yeah.
And that's cool, man.
And I think that's something that I very much share with Fernando is we both appreciate a $2 record as much as a $200 record. It's about the music. It's not about how valuable or how rare it is. And that's what I watch Fernando's streams, and I always learn things. And the same with you, Dusty, and there's a bunch of other guys as well who I don't want to start naming names or forgetting people. But I think it's so important to not just show this music isn't just Puerto Rican guaguancó or New York guaguancó, but there's Cuban stuff, there's pachanga, there's descarga, there's jazzier stuff, there's even romantica, and you play the same thing, but you switch it up. You know what I mean? Man. There's like a root or like a raíz that runs all the way through.
Yes.
And it's just connecting the different branches.
What you said just now with that smile, when you hear another cat playing a tune that you would play in a different kind of journey or in a different moment of a set, but it fits so beautifully, you just be like, man, you get this moment of satisfaction, right?
Yeah.
And we're getting totally nerdy.
Hey, I get this. Hey, did you just speed up that song? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, yeah. I put on 45 and I slowed it down -9. Why? And it sounds awesome. Why? Because it has to do more with the rhythm and the sequence of songs that you're following. Like, you can't just bore somebody like the same thing. Cha 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 cha.
Yeah. Breaking salsa music. I don't know. Not my thing. But listen, guys, I wanna just say thank you. We're gonna wrap it up. I need to pee.
I'm not gonna flex near Fernando.
I'm joking. But look,
I got the height down with the arms.
Wait. I could flex. Are you ready? Wait, where is it? There it is. That didn't really kind of work out. It's like the black maraca. No, but thank you guys. Thank you for the audience. Martina, Lati Salcera, Nikolai is gonna listen to the whole set later on. Shout out to everyone in the audience for tuning in to another Under the Scope with these amazing gentlemen, true connoisseurs and passionate people for music and life. And I love you guys. So thank you for doing this with me. I appreciate that, and sharing a little bit about who you are to everyone listening.
Much love to both of you. Thank you for having us, Dusty.
Thank you, guys. Un abrazote. Thank you so much for having me. You guys were awesome. Thank you so much for everyone that was on the chat there. Keep it up. Don't let it go. Salsa keeps living forever.
Que viva la música.
Water.
Agua. Dale, Miami style.
Ciao, ciao.
Take care, guys.
Don't forget, guys, we're going to do Wachiwaro next week. Not do Wachiwaro, but we're going to listen to Wachiwaro Under the Scope next week, followed by Goody Goody the week after, and then followed by Jamil in the house as well, Jamil Bacha the week after that. If you want to get on Under the Scope and share a little bit about your passion for salsa, please reach out to us in the Agozar group, and we'll be happy to hear you out and see how we can facilitate for you and share the world a little bit about your passion and what you love. Okay, so keep in touch, and we'll see you on the next Salsa Cross Borders. And also, I look forward to also hearing back feedback, comments, and whatnot. Keep it coming. We're just trying to be real here. So love to you all. Thanks for tuning in. This is Dusty. Ciao.